Hello, everyone. You get me, all week, me. Congratulations. Today, Kelly asked me to talk to you guys before we go around and do our evaluations, talk to you a little bit about this affirmations and this particular type of affirmations that I've started doing. I did not invent it, but I heard about it and I've embraced it, and it really has kind of changed the way that I was doing them. Because I will tell you, as a affirmation naysayer and somebody who like, what are your affirmations? I was like, none, I don't have them, I don't do them, I don't like them. I started doing the ones that I was told to do, and we had that sheet for a while that was like your goals, and then you wrote some affirmations with them, like I'm a 5-star diamond, I'm a this, I'm a that, and all the things. And I will tell you, even if you feel ridiculous at the beginning saying those affirmations, they really do shift your thinking. And they really do, you catch yourself in behaviors that don't align with your affirmations, and you notice it. And you start to say, wait a minute, I've been saying this thing. But I can understand, because there are some people who are like, I feel so disconnected from these affirmations if I walk around and I'm like, I'm a fit and healthy person, I have a clean house, I'm a good mom, and your behaviors don't line up with that. Or it's a big goal. Like if you're an emerald coach and you're walking around saying you're a 10-star diamond, it feels like a lie. And it in some cases, now I will tell you, if you power through it and you keep saying them, it works. It does. It takes a while, but it works. But when you have a huge one, you can feel really disconnected from it. And I have seen people say, well, I'll just change my affirmations to something more manageable. World's okayest mom. I'm really trying. You know, that's not bad, except what kind of person do I want to be? I'm not shooting for mediocre. I'm not shooting for middle of the road. Hitting 10-star diamond is not a middle of the road kind of goal. Shooting for a millionaires club, shooting for a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business or a 5-figure business that I can do sweat pouring in my workout clothes while my kids eat lunch and my baby is napping, or on my lunch hour from work, or in the pockets of my day. Those are not middle of the road, world's okayest mom kind of goals. And so when you back off those affirmations to shorten the gap between where you are and where your affirmation is, you cut your feet out from underneath you, because then you're not I don't have to push as hard to be okay. I don't have to push as hard to be, not so bad. I can hit not so bad on a good day without a whole lot of effort. Some days, not so bad takes a lot of effort. But most days, not so bad doesn't take a lot of gumption on my part. It doesn't take a lot of rewiring, and it also doesn't shut up that voice in my head. And it doesn't change the way that I think about my day and about my life. So I heard recently, and it was Josh Coates who said it the first time I heard it, but I've heard it a couple other places too. And then I put a little bit of my own spin on it as well. And he talks about starting these affirmations with the word because. And I talked about it on a Challenger Zoom a while back, but I don't know if I explained it very well, because some of what I saw people doing was kind of bizarre, but they were writing affirmations, and we're going to start there. But the idea is that you're going to bridge the gap between where you are now and this statement that you feel so disconnected from by offering some proof for that mean girl. Because this statement has because and this huge goal, and then some things that you are doing that align with that. So you're putting all of your action through the filter of this statement of who you are. And so I've heard Rachel Hollis talk about these goals that she writes as if they've already happened. And big things: publishing books, New York Times bestseller, having your own conference, hitting $1 million in revenue from your company, whatever it is, huge things, but writing them as if they've already happened. Yeah, she didn't invent it. Grant Cardone. I mean, any of these guys they all got it from each other. I mean, I heard her say something this morning. I was super jealous that I wasn't at that Rise Business conference this weekend. or at this Tony Robbins event, both of which I had tickets to for different, well, that's a longer story for a different thing. I was offered a ticket because we're a military family to the RISE conference, and I got a ticket as part of working with Brad Bizjack to the Tony Robbins concert. But Ben was gone, and I will go the next time, and it will be okay, but I just had a moment over the weekend. Well, world's okayest mom. So my point is, I was watching social media coverage of the RISE Business Conference, and I heard Rachel Hollis talk about something that Brendan Bouchard said, and it was just this whole, snowball of things. They all quote each other, right? And Brad Bizjack talks about the person that he listens to. He listens to the same personal development talk every morning, the same book every morning while he's working out, just on repeat. And he does other things other parts of the day. So none of us really invented this. Yeah, they all do it. So the idea is, and I talked a little bit about this last night too, that mean girl in your head, another way of describing it is just your primal brain that's protecting you. And when you start talking big, I don't mean bragging, I mean big goals, big things that you're really, really excited for. When you start talking a big game, your primal brain goes in a full-blown panic because it doesn't have anything real to panic about anymore. So it panics about everything else. What if I say I'm going to make money or lose weight and then I don't? What if I say I'm going to work out every day and then I don't? What if I say I'm going to be tidy and then there's a mess? What if I say I'm going to give up Coke and then I have one? And your primal brain is just full-blown panic. But because affirmations give you something to focus on, and of course I have 6 notebooks next to me, and the one I need is right over there. So I'll grab it in just a minute. But because affirmations are things that are meant to be empowering because they give you proof for the mean girl and something to say that primal brain, like, just simmer down. Just simmer down. We're good. We don't need you to panic right now. See what we're doing? And so some of them, this is part of my ritual now of what I do each morning. So I'm gonna grab my notebook, but I'll tell you what I do. Each morning I write gratitude, whatever comes to my head. And I was focusing on like big gratitude for really, really hard things. And I still do that and I still think it's good, but I was a little bit admonished recently to not just do that because then you're still always focused on the negative. Like, here's my big gratitude. You have a fight with your husband. So my gratitude the next day is I'm grateful that my marriage is based on vows and not feelings. Or if you're struggling in your finances and you either miss a payment of something or you don't have to have the money for something or whatever, you're grateful that this lack of finances is teaching you what's really important and what you're really going to work for, right? And I still think that there's a great benefit for that. But being grateful for the hot cup of coffee or being grateful for breastfeeding or being grateful for the phone charger or whatever, any little thing just teaches you to have that attitude. So I write the gratitude. I just write whatever comes into my head. It's usually about 5 to 7 things. I don't have a solid number that I feel like I have to hit. And then I write my affirmations next. And I'm gonna grab my book so I can share a couple of them with you. Then I write my last 90 days goals. Right now, there's 3 of them. 1-star diamond, SC 10 plus every month, and 12 new coaches. Those are my last 90 days goals. And then I write there are 11. I started with 10 and then added 1. My 11 goals as if they've happened. Some of them are familial things. Some of them are marriage things. Some of them are business things. Some of them are just life things. Some are personal health things. Some are like family mission things. There's probably 3 or 4 to each of those categories. But the affirmations that I write, I started with 1. I got it from the Josh Coates call, the recruiting group that he did. Susanna, can you hand me my notebook that's right there, please? Then I don't have to get up because I'm not sure my legs work. Right on the stool. I typed in the comments when he was talking a fear of mine about not being able to manage a big team. I was worried that if I had this huge team, how was I going to manage them? And he like dove right in on that. And it gave me this, I mean, it's a pretty big affirmation. I wrote it, but he kind of gave me the idea for it right there. And if you were on it, you heard him kind of talk through it. I'm going to give you a couple shorter ones, but I just wanted to tell you where I started. This one is really long, but I do write it every single day, every day that I sit down and do this behavior. Because I care enough about people, I'm willing to reach out and help as many as possible, even if it means I have to learn new skills to manage them or disappoint a few along the way. I would rather fail 1,000 people while serving 100,000 because by standing still, I'm failing them all anyway. I'm unwilling to leave them stuck on their couch in their before pick because I'm worried about dropping a person or two. So that's the longest one, and that is really big, but that was a big fear of mine that I realized, that I was worried I wasn't going to be able to manage it all, and it affected the way that I did business. But I want you to hear the structure in that. It starts with because I am this, because I do this. I am this person who cares enough about people, and I'm going to do this thing even though I don't know how to do it. And what the behavior that I'm going to do is learn a new system in order to manage them. But let me give you a couple more examples. Right now I have 4. I started with 1, and then I've been working on overcoming just a spirit of skepticism that I didn't realize was a limiting thing in my life until about 2 weeks ago. Yes, that's what I do. Sorry, I was reading the comments. I can't read and talk at the same time. But I was working on skepticism, and I work one-on-one with Brad Bizjack. I do Appreciation Academy, and then I work one-on-one with him. And it has been really, really hard because he doesn't want to focus on the things that I want to focus on. But what I wanted to focus on wasn't getting me where I wanted to go. And I'm paying him money to tell me what to do. So I'm going to give this obedience thing a try. But even a statement like that is kind of a skeptical kind of statement, right? And I just realized he was telling me something, and I'm like, I believe that I will get there, but I'm not there yet, and I don't know what to do now. I've just always been a skeptical person. And he's like, so now I write, because I am optimistic, I believe in the abundant future I am building, but I also feel the realness of it. I'm free to come up with solutions to all my problems and obstacles. And then another one I write, because I'm showing up as a 10-star leader, I'm working my business daily and offering good training for the willing. That's a really simple, short one. I'll answer that in just a second. Let me read one more. Because I hear and listen to the promptings from the Holy Spirit, I clean the space that comes to mind, I put my phone down and engage my children, and I work on the tasks He has given to me. So I start with because, and then here's this big statement. Listen to those statements. Because I'm optimistic. Remember, that is a 180 turn from 42 years of viewing myself as a pessimist. Not a pessimist, a skeptic, a realist. I wouldn't say pessimist, but a skeptic and a realist. 42 years. So now saying I am an optimist is a complete 180 and a huge statement. Because I'm showing up as a 10-star leader. 10 stars. I have 0 stars now. Because I show up as a 10-star leader. You're all stars, but you know what I'm saying. Because I hear and listen to the promptings of the Holy Spirit. Because I care enough about people, I'm willing to reach out. These are big statements, but the second piece of it is the things that you're doing to hit that. And they're pretty small things. The things that I'm doing to hit those big things are pretty small. I'm doing my power hour 5 days a week. That used to be a big deal. Now it's just what I do, right? So that might not be what you write. So if you're worried about, what did I say before? If you're worried about, making money or losing weight and then you don't, if you're tidy and then there's a mess, what do? I'm a tidy person. Because I'm a tidy person, I pick up the paper I just stepped on. There you go. Done. Because I'm building a business, I work from a list every day. Done. Because I'm a peaceful wife and mother, I take a deep breath and say a Hail Mary before I open my mouth. So Angie's question in the comment was, do I write the same thing every day or do I let it flow? It depends. I always write. I've not yet taken any out, but I went for weeks just writing one. And then another one kind of came to me circumstantially. And then I was writing two. I've added two pretty quickly, so now I have four, but they're long. But I actually really like the act of handwriting, of writing by hand. I like the feeling of it. It takes me a while, and I've kind of gone back and forth because what I write down, gratitude, 5 to 7 gratitudes, affirmation last 90 days, and those 11 goals, it could take me a half an hour to write all of that. It's a lot of stuff, especially, you know, as kids are trickling down and you're saying hello and making a cup of coffee and all that kind of stuff. And I've gone back and forth, but then I'm like, you know, if I can't take those 20 minutes to fuel this fire, that then if I build a good fire at the beginning of the day, it stays warm for the rest of the day. So that's the way that I've been doing this. And my goal is to write them every morning. I have this notebook, is the only thing that goes in it is that morning routine. And I'm about this far through it. And I've been doing it. Affirmations can be my juice during the day. Yes, but it also just makes me like live in that state, just that state of forward thinking. Even if the actual affirmation doesn't come to my mind, I'm in a state of gratitude. I'm in a state of forward thinking. I'm in a state of appreciation for what's going on. And it's all a part of shifting a lot. We keep floating Brad Bizjack's name around. I know several of us are doing Appreciation Academy. If you're not, I would highly recommend it. I think it's fabulous. But working in a state of appreciation and gratitude and seeing my day as things that happen for me, not to me, really, and this is kind of the genesis of that. So does that make sense? I just wanted to run through that for you. And I can keep sharing more about this, but I kind of also I don't want to say it doesn't matter what you write, because it does matter what you write, because words are powerful. But if you don't do it exactly the way that I do it, I don't think that's the end of the world. The goal here is to have this huge, instead of bringing your affirmations down to what feels more manageable, or just walking around and saying, you know, what you do is just one step better than where you are now. What you're shooting for is just one step more than where you are now. Instead of that, why don't you bring up your level of discomfort with this big statement? Give yourself a stepping stone or a step stool. A lot of us have little kids. It's like a step stool. Here's this big thing that I want, and I'm going to put in this step stool so it doesn't feel like such a big gap. And it reminds you of what you are doing. No, I'm not there yet. I can stand in the wherever and say, I'm a 10-star diamond, I'm a 10-star diamond, I'm a 10-star diamond. And A, I'm not. And B, it's not just going to happen. You have to do things to become those people. So it gives you that stepping stone, but it also prompts you to do those things. And from a reminding me throughout the day, in a way, yeah, especially when it comes to business stuff, I don't have time to fiddle fart around, because if I'm trying to write good training for my new coaches, I gotta get my stuff done, because it's a lot more fun to me to write training than it is to send out new connections. But if I'm gonna say I have to do my phase 1 first, and then you kind of work backwards in a schedule. Like, I want to do these affirmations and all my writing before the kids get up. And I want to do my power hour, and I want to get to all this stuff. So then I have to structure my day a little bit differently. So that's the story on that. You guys ready to switch over to, does anybody have any other questions? Are you ready to switch over to evaluation stuff? Okay, I'll go first. You have your sheet. I will tell you, do you have a question? Yeah. What's your question? Yes. This is the first time I've actually printed my thing out.
So my only question is, would it be possible for us to post an affirmation? Because I think for me, hearing your affirmations, I can hear when you had a negative focus, but I think that's very hard to hear on your own. Like, I think I could hear it on yours, like, oh, you're focusing on something going wrong and you're going to focus on the good, but you're going to say the wrong thing first. Like that was very clear. But when I do mine, I have a feeling that's how mine are. Like, I have a feeling they start with the negative and they don't start with something positive. Even when you say, because I'm peaceful, I'm not going to focus on the fact that my kids just blew up the living room again.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing. I have a feeling I focus on that and I don't even see it. Like, I don't even recognize it.
No, I think we definitely should do that for each other. Cause I'll be honest, like the whole skepticism thing, I didn't see that as a bad thing. I really didn't. And not even a value judgment, like, cause even if it's something that's just meant to protect you, I mean, I'm learning that a lot of these limiting beliefs, if I track back to, I mean, I had a very nice childhood. I didn't have a traumatic past. And some of the things that I have brought into adulthood that lead to me saying that I'm skeptical or realist or whatever were my parents trying to protect me and set me up well for the future. But if I'm now trying to branch out into a world that involves a lot of risk taking, that's kind of the opposite of what was instilled in me growing up. Right? So my father is very successful, but very practical. Very practical. He's the epitome of working well and very hard, but on someone else's dream, in someone else's company. He saves well. He used to save back when people didn't use debit cards because there weren't debit cards and there weren't really credit cards. Everybody operated in cash, and he would empty his pockets at the end of the day and put all of the money in his pockets it was a paint can with a slit in the top. I'm like, I remember it. And then before we go on vacation, he would roll it all up, and that was part of our vacation spending money, but it was hundreds of dollars by the time because he did it every single day. These are all very good behaviors, very practical, very solid and safe and secure. And so now I come into adulthood with this idea that risk-taking is dangerous, and you're much better served by following the path and staying in the straight and narrow. I've come into adulthood with this idea that you can't break out and go against the flow. And this idea that if you just follow the rules, you'll be fine. Makes me think of the Croods. Have you guys seen the Croods? Like, they tried something new and died. Like, and I grew up thinking that was a very good thing. And again, there's not a judgment on that, but it holds me back if I want to do something different. If I want to do, to the point that, like, my brother wanted to go to art school, and my dad told him he could major in whatever he wanted to, but he had to get a 4-year degree, that he wouldn't help him pay for anything like a 2-year degree. So my brother could have gone to an incredible art school that really served him and gotten a 2-year degree. Instead, he got it was good, but he didn't go to an art school. He went to a traditional school and majored in something artistic and got a 4-year degree, and now he works at a bank. He did, he did things in movie and film, like in television for a while, but he didn't have the connections that he might have had otherwise. And that I have two choices. I can be bitter and safe and stuck, or I can do the hard work of changing those mindsets. So I definitely think we should change them, because I don't think you realize, I don't even mean negative, because some of it's negative, but some of it is really just not the direction you want now. Not the direction you want now. Maybe it's not anything bad. Like, the people who want to leave their jobs, it doesn't mean that having a job is bad. It's just not what they want. It's not what they're shooting for. And you have to undo those kinds of things. Yeah. So, okay, let's switch gears because I could talk all day long and do. So we're going to switch over to the weekly business evaluation. Oh, no, we're not recording the evaluation. Thank you. No one needs to see that. I'm going to stop this.